Hi, my name is Tina Harjo, and the book I'm reading is titled Teaching with Poverty in Mind: What Being Poor Does to Kids' Brains and What School Can Do About It. And it's written by Eric Jensen. And the reason why I selected this topic is because it's very near and dear to my heart. I grew up in poverty. I understand a lot of the issues that students are going through, coming from low income backgrounds and having parents with a 7th grade and 9th grade education themselves, trying to raise children, and not being able to get the types of jobs that can always provide for the students. And then I also currently work in one of the poorest counties in Oklahoma, and the students in the school districts that I work with have a lot of low income issues that they deal with. And so this topic is very important to me to be able to research and get more information. When I was in college, my minor was sociology, and so I've already studied a lot of the effects of poverty on students, especially in rural America. And so poverty and education is interconnected. Children in poverty often face barriers that other students doesn't have to, and oftentimes it interferes and hinders academic success. And so education can either be the great equalizer, as the book highlights, or it can cause more barriers for students if they have don't have access to the resources that they need to break the poverty cycle. So some of the barriers that students face in poverty is the lack of basic needs. Food, security, housing, healthcare, a lot of the times can be barriers for students that are trying to get an education. They're worried about things that's going on at home, or they may have health issues that either affects them cognitively or maybe physical or emotional barriers to students in focusing on education. Also, students in poverty, especially since COVID, schools have used more technology, and so a lot of the time students in poverty or lower income students don't have the adequate access to resources to be able to do their work virtually. So they don't have internet, or they don't have computers at home to be able to do it. But also, a lot of the students that are low income live in low income school districts that can't afford to provide these resources for students. And so the underfunded schools have fewer resources, outdated facilities and technology, and sometimes larger class sizes. And so this can impact student learning. Sorry, I got a phone call. Students in poverty are more likely to have lower test scores, higher dropout rates, reduced post-secondary education opportunities. They have chronic stress and trauma associated with poverty that impact brain development and concentration. Many times they have attendance issues because of transportation problems, family not being responsible, or unstable housing can cause them to have chronic absenteeism. So some of the ways that teachers can assist these students is they can help them, especially younger children, learn to develop those types of cognitive development that they need, the social and emotional skills that they may need and that they aren't getting at home. Either the parents are stressed out or not educated. They may not be getting the love and support and attention that they need at a young age in order to develop those types of responsibilities. They may have parents that don't use proper manners or social skills. They may not have good communication with the kids. So schools can build relationships, strong support, connections between teachers and students can assist these students, creating a positive learning environment, helping them feel safe, and having a structured environment can reduce anxiety and increase engagement with students. Inspire hope and motivation, provide encouragement. A lot of the times when teachers get students like this, they lower expectations for students to help them, but sometimes that's counterproductive. Sometimes they need those higher goals, those higher expectations, so they can feel like they've accomplished stuff, and they can visualize success for themselves. Offer stimulating content can build confidence and help them overcome deficits that they may have. They need to realize that poverty does not have to be their destination. That was one of the things that Dr. Jensen mentioned in his book, that a lot of the times they don't know another way of life, and so that generational cycle will continue until they understand and visualize what their life can be outside of poverty. So they need to have that long-term vision. They have to be able to believe in themselves. And so getting that encouragement and help with that from their teachers can go a long way. Many times these teachers have several of these students in their classroom, and I understand that they may have burnout. They may be tired and may not feel like they're making a difference, but teachers helping teachers and encouraging teachers, other teachers who are going through the same thing, can go a long way. Collaboration between staff members and educators within the school building set and overall school goals can change not only the mindset of the students but also the faculty, and bring that collaboration that they need. And one other thing I wanted to highlight is that we have to talk to these students, especially since COVID, and make sure that they're not experiencing isolation. A lot of the times they haven't developed those social skills and cognitive skills, and they may not know how to communicate with each other, and opening opportunities for students to be able to build those relationships with each other, especially other people from the backgrounds, can build that bridge to help them in the future, help them to understand that just because someone's not like them and doesn't experience the things that they do, that they're not looking down on them. Teaching them at a young age to work together and to accept other people, and just continuing that through the whole school system, so that that's a continued development through starting at a young age all the way through high school. I think a lot of the times we talk about those things when they're little, but as they get older, sometimes we forget those manners and those social skills as they get older, and that goes a long ways, and it will help them post-secondary, whether it's school or work or whatever they decide to do. It'll help them in the future to be able to know how to communicate with other people. And so a lot of the times, people who are in poverty have chronic stress, and they have a hard time making decisions. They have poor memory and attention, and they have, weaker cognitive and emotional skills. And so early experiences that they go through, and trauma and instability, kind of gives them a helpless mentality, and they have low motivation. And so we need to work together as educators to build that confidence and build these students up. I went to a high school that was very large, and I was shy, and I was from a lower background, and I had a hard time communicating with other people, and I still don't have very strong verbal communication skills, but not one time during my whole high school career did anyone ever talk to me about my opportunities after high school. I didn't have good grades, I didn't have good attendance, I was a hard worker, I helped my family. I always had a job and helped my family, and so to me, the decision to go to school after high school, it just wasn't meant for me. And so I didn't get my associate's degree till I was 35, and then I got my bachelor's degree right before I turned 40, and never in my life did I ever think that I was going to be able to get an education. And that wasn't the main reason why I wanted to become a school counselor, is because I wanted to have a voice for those types of students that kind of felt neglected and overlooked, and didn't realize how many opportunities they actually had if somebody would just took the time to meet with them and talk to them. And so I make sure that, the shy kids, the kids that may not make the good grades, or may not be top 10 students, get the same amount of attention that the rest of the population does. And to let them know that just because this is how they grew up and this is how they were raised, it doesn't mean that that has to be a lifestyle for them. They can break that generational cycle, and I help them get the tools that they need to accomplish that. And that may not be college, it may be learning a trade and going to technology center, it may just be going straight to work. But letting them know that providing for your family and not having to depend on everyone else, but having the determination that you're going to be the one that provides for your family is important. And it's something that they could pass down to the next generation. And it's important, and kids find it good that someone takes the time to meet with them. And so I just encourage everyone I talk to make sure that they don't overlook these students and don't push them to the side. Hold them accountable, give them, higher expectations, but also give them the tools and resources in order to meet those expectations. Thank you.